Hi, this is Alicia Douglas. I want to talk today about not compromising. You see, when you're doing business, there's sometimes when you connect with different entities, whether it's a business, an individual, and things don't click from the very beginning, or things do click and then you begin to have these feelings about certain connections or certain meetings or certain aspects of a project. Don't ignore those feelings that you have about aspects of a project. Don't ignore things that are said or things that happen when you connect with people. That is what I call your natural GPS, and it really is a good gauge for how to engage, how to do business, what to do, the next logical steps, the next steps in relations to you. And when I say don't compromise, don't ignore a feeling that you have that you may need to connect with someone on something specific. Because sometimes there may be a misunderstanding in the communication that you get. You may get feedback from someone or something in the project. You have feedback that does not jive. It doesn't feel right. Or you don't understand. Or it just doesn't feel good. And when you're spending your money, you're devoting your energy, your time, and the like, it needs to come from a place where you are 100% resonant and 100% sure of what you're doing. Now, I'm not talking about stepping out there and taking risks. That's something entirely different. I'm saying a contract, a meeting with an individual, the way a group engages with you or your business or your family even. Have you ever just had a transaction for your house, for instance, like you're dealing with a contractor and a portion of the communication, it just didn't sit well with you, it didn't sit well with your husband, and you go on with the services that you've agreed to go with this person and it doesn't work right? If you had just stopped and addressed it, or even stopped at go. I'm going to share something real quickly with you. Before we moved, we were looking for a mover, and I found we could have gone really cheap, we could have gone really expensive, and then there was somewhere in between. Well, we went really cheap. And a move that was supposed to be roughly $500 ended up being $1,500. And I had feelings the day we were moving that those were not the people for us. And I discounted, or I chose to ignore what I was feeling and move forward. And let me tell you what happened that day. When they finally moved the last box or piece of furniture in my home, I was given a demand of $1,500 cash on Good Friday. My husband wasn't here. It was just me and my children. It was a hot mess. And I'm a really strong, rational, and pretty serious person when it comes to business. And folks have mentioned before that I can be pretty tough. But it was an emotional day. I had moved from a place that I had lived for 14 years. The home that we used to live in, I brought all of my children home from the hospital. That was the place where I left as a bride and came home as a wife. It was the place that I left for the first time and came home with a baby. So there were lots of things going on. And even if I didn't actually acknowledge how I was feeling and processing, moving on from one aspect of my life or one phase of my life to another, I had all this stuff going on. My husband not here because he had an obligation to take care of work-wise. And someone's telling me I got to go get $1,500 cash on Good Friday. when it was supposed to cost $500. Just a complete, utter disaster. And it could have been avoided if I had just said, you know what, send them home. Let me make a few phone calls and let me connect with someone that I really feel comfortable with. All the signs were there, and we just chose to ignore. And we really weren't ready for the move. So I'm just sharing my situation to just really shed some light with you. Don't compromise. When you know something is not entirely right, or you're not feeling a good vibration, or you're just not feeling a situation or your interaction with an entity or whatever, don't pass through those feelings and disregard them as if there is nothing. Sit down and figure out what it is that you're feeling and answer or acknowledge what is going on and reconcile it or stop at go. This is Delisha Douglas. Thanks for connecting, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye.